Hello guys, it is Puka here, and now we're gonna be having a review into our so-called Berserker or Rampager hammer build. The build feels quite similar to the Yellow Bubble, but sadly it uses slightly different earrings and slightly different traits than the Yellow Bubble. Also, it has way more different initials and usage than the Yellow Bubble. Anyways, I'm not gonna be confusing you anymore. I'm just gonna jump right into the runes and explanation of the gear. Then over the traits, then slightly over the SKUs, and then we're pretty much gonna make the conclusion. Okay, so let's get it at start. First, I'm gonna be talking about the earrings. What you want to do with the earrings, you don't really want to keep them a berserker. The reason that is because you want to achieve more than 50% critical chance. So as you grant the fury, gonna be better. I'm gonna explain a little more as I get to the armor. So replacing the so-called berserker toward the assassin gear, gonna drop your power by 30, but ain't gonna increase your precision by 30. So 74 power to 110 precision, which gonna jump between 4% precision minimum, gonna be jumping to your critical chance. Then pretty much everything else goes to the berserker over your trinkets. The armor pretty much stands the same as the old bubble. Marauder top piece, everything else goes for Cavalier, toughness, power along with ferocity. But instead of durability runes, you want to change to runes of the Pact. The reason that is, you want to maximize your fury until your firebrands and your so-called yellow bubble will be giving you mainly the protection and the slightly more improvement over the resistance. So you pretty much want to be more offensive than your yellow bubble brother. Then weapons, they pretty much stick the same. Swords goes for the air and force. The hammer can go 100% the intelligence. The reason that is you want to be maximizing your damage with your hammer as you swap weapons. But you can change the superior sigil of blood into sigil of air or the sigil of force, as I mentioned earlier. So you can go even more offensive if you don't feel like you need some health replenish as you do a critical hit. So pretty much instead of durability you want to be going for runes of the pack. Instead of berserker you want to aim for assassin trinkets, pretty much earrings. So this concludes the gear, jumping over the traits. Pretty much the strength and the discipline works in the same way as they do with the yellow bubble, with very slight difference. And the specialization pretty much entirely changes. So let's do a fast tour over the strength and the discipline. The first trait, each time you dodge, you're gonna be granting might to up to I'm gonna explain it in a different way. So you're gonna be granting might for each enemy struck as you dodge, and along with that you're gonna be damage the target. So you dodge, you damage 5 targets, you get might for each enemy struck. This trait doesn't have a cooldown, so as much as you dodge, the more might, the more damage you're gonna deal as you are dodging. Then instead of restorative strength, which benefits pretty much from benefits to the pinnacle of strength trait, you want to go for peak of performance. The reason that is, it gonna reduce the cooldown of your stomp and your bull's charge, and along with that, each time you use one of these two abilities, you will have 10% damage boost for 6 seconds. The reason that is, you pretty much want to be very aggressive on damage pulling and bursting over your enemy. So each time you use a burst skill, which not gonna feel quite often when you're not into a berserker stance or berserker mode, you will be refilling endurance by 15 when you use the burst skill. This trait benefits the most as you are inside berserker mode. Then pretty much you go for forceful greatsword, 10% damage boost when you're wielding greatsword. Each critical hit gonna provide you might with the greatsword, and the greatsword ability is recharged 20% faster. Then pretty much we're going to the Merciless Hammer. Each time enemies lock into a CC, you're gonna be doing 20% more damage to these enemies. So each time enemies locked into a knockdown, lunge, stun, they're gonna be receiving more damage from your hammer. Usually, I don't think this trait is only for the hammer, but in general, when a enemy is locked into a CC. Also, along with that, each time you specifically CC your enemy, was it with the Earthquake, Earthshaker, either with the Staggering Blow, either with the Backbreaker, or either with your Rampage abilities, either with the Bow Charge, either with the Stomp, they will gain confusion by 6 stacks every 3 seconds. And the third thing that you're gonna be getting from this trait, your hammer abilities will be reduced by 20% of a cooldown. Very useful. So pretty much utilizing your skill recharge over your utilities and over your weapons and improving their damage. Simple as that. Discipline, here is the deal. It reduces your weapon swap by 5 seconds, so every 4 seconds you will be able to change between hammer and greatsword. Very useful. Along with that, each time you change your weapons, 5 adrenaline. This will be very essential for you because you will not be able to replenish adrenaline very easily if you're not in a combat. So it is very essential to be swapping your weapons frequently and executing attacks very precisely. Then let's have a look into Warrior's Sprint. First, each time you wield a melee weapon, you gain 3% bonus damage on top of all of your damage. Very useful trait. Both of your weapons are pretty much melee. Hammer and greatsword. You do not have a long bow, neither a rifle to not benefit from this trait. Another thing that is very useful from this trait and that is very utilized in your build. When you use a wheeling attack, you're gonna break stun. You're gonna not stun. Sorry, you're gonna break immobile effect, so you're not gonna be rooted. Same goes for the rush, removes immobile. Same goes for the stomp, removes immobile. Same goes for the boost charge, removing immobile. Same also gonna be going for few of your rampage abilities. So very OP mobility build. Then Destruction of the Empowered, it says as it is written. For each boon on your enemy, the more boons your enemy have, you're gonna be having 3% damage for each of these boon from this trait. So 4 boons gonna give you a total of 12% damage. I'm not pretty sure that this trait eventually has a limit until the game has 11 boons or 12, not pretty sure. But I think it pretty much goes for all of the boons up to 100% damage. Then versatile power. Each time when you're gonna be swapping a weapon, you're gonna be reducing the recharge or cooldown on your so-called burst abilities. Was it your burst or your primal burst skills that are into your berserk stance? But this will be each time you swap a weapon, so every 5 seconds, these skills will benefit by 15% cooldown reduction. Along with this, you're also gonna be having 2 stacks of mind, very useful when especially when you are going for the pinnacle of strength. The more might, the more power, simple as that. And the final one, it is Burst Mastery. Each time you use a Primal Burst skill inside your Berserk, or each time you use Arcane Slice, Arc Divider, or the Earth Shaker along with the Rooting Slash, they will improve your so-called adrenaline by 33%. So as you use, you're not going to be losing all of your adrenaline each time you use a burst ability. They will be benefiting you as you use them. On top of that, they will be having 7% more damage. So they deal more damage, they restore 33% of their adrenaline, and on top of that they give you 3 seconds of swiftness. The swiftness is not really who knows what, but with the 3% damage that you're gonna be having is very essential and useful. So let's have a look into the Berserker. The discipline, I forgot to mention, it is pretty much utilizing your weapon swaps and maintaining your adrenaline through your burst skills. Then let's look into the Berserker. The first thing explains what your Berserker have. That each time you enter your Berserker, your attack speed increases, your damage increases, you gain fury, you get quickness, you taunt enemy, you gain adrenaline, your adrenaline drops to 10/30, and some other beneficial stuff like this. The first trait, Smash Brawler. Why you want to do this? Your Primal Burst and Berserker mode gonna be literally reduced by 20% of a cooldown. So instead of recharging 15 seconds, your Berserker gonna recharge 12 seconds. Instead of your skill into Arc Divider recharge 6 seconds, it gonna drop to 3 seconds cooldown. Very useful. Then Always Angry. This is very interesting trait. Gain increased damage and condition damage when you enter Berserker mode. So as you remain into your Berserker mode, which is total duration of 15 seconds in the length of this trait, your damage will be 77% increased along with your condition damage. This is very useful because there are several other traits that will also provide you a increased damage, and your burst can get insanely on top of everything. Then Blood Reaction. A percentage of your precision is given as a bonus to ferocity and double if you are in Berserker mode. So your ferocity is as higher as possible as your precision goes. So the more precision, the more ferocity you get. This is one of the reasons I told you that you can swap your so-called Berserker earrings over the Assassin earrings, because you may lose, like, let's say between, I'm not pretty sure, I think it was 4% ferocity to get 3% of a precision. So here is the deal with this. Essentially you're gonna be running low ferocity with the assassin ones. Absolutely not. Eventually you're gonna be having even more ferocity. Here is the deal. The Berserker, as you see in here, it has so-called there it is. The ferocity between the assassin gear and between the Berserker gear, it is exactly the same, only you trade slightly more power for slightly more precision. The reason that is, you already have insane damage increase by your weapons and some passives, and as you increase your precision, you get even more ferocity. So this is very essential trait. Assassin gear is very useful for this trait called Blood Reaction. I kinda messed it here, but I think I've been pretty much clean. Dropping like, let's say 60 power for like 4 to 5% ferocity, it is very good. Fatal Frenzy, this is a trait that gives you these boons that I talked earlier, the fury, the quickness and the swiftness when you enter into your berserker mode. This pretty much comes very essential. Then you pretty much go for the bloody war. The reason why you want to do this is as you remain into your berserker stance, you get even 10% more damage buff. So once you get it from the Always Angry, second time you have it from the Bloody Roar, then you have additional from the Burst Mastery, then you have additional damage going as your enemy have more boons, then you have additional damage as you're wielding melee weapons and you have swiftness on yourself. I should eventually correct myself here. You get damage increase when you only have the swiftness, not when you have melee weapons. Melee weapons only provide you the movement speed passive without the swiftness. Then you have another bonus damage when you're literally some enemies into a CC, additional damage for for your greatsword, additional damage from your burst skill, so you absolutely are burst machine if you manage to do this build properly. If you feel like your stability is not on place, you may go for the Eternal Champion, but I don't really think you're gonna feel the need of this. First, because your Stomp gonna be giving like 5 stacks of stability, because it can hit up to 5 targets, and for each target stack it gives bonus stability. Second, your Rampage has insane stability reduction, stability buff, not reduction. And third, you have like 3 abilities that can get you away from combat very simple. The boost charge, the rush, the whirling attack. If you're on your hammer, you pretty much can leap away from your enemy with the erupting smash, so I don't think you will feel any need for the Eternal Champion, but still is an option. About the skills, pretty much Defiant Stance, use it when you're inside of the melees to get yourself healed. You maintain your Stomp mainly for the stability and mainly to break enemies' stability stacks and to get some damage boost. The boost charge is very essential skill because when you use it, you can evade for 1.25 of a second. It is very useful for running away. I don't really suggest it to rush into fight right with it. Mainly use it to get on the side from a very huge bomb or to get easy kill on one of the enemy backline stuff. About Berserker Stance, this is the skill that mainly will provide you adrenaline when you struggle with it. And this is also one of the skills that will give you slightly resistance when you do not feel that your cleansing from the Guardians is not on the place. And final, Rampage. This is your most offensive and insanely damaged skill that you want to use. So pretty much healing defense, stability breaking, stability for yourself, damage along with removing immobiles. This is insanely big skill. I suggest you to go through it to be more clear with it. It pretty much has everything explained. Berserker Stance, use it mainly to maintain your resistance and your adrenaline. Not that much for the resistance, but mainly for your adrenaline when you don't feel it on the place. Boost Charge, mainly use it to kill any ranged target that is cut off from the group, or either use it to run away easily from your from the spike, not from your, but from the spike that you're into. Rampage, insanely charged skill with a lot of damage. So I think I have been clear enough how the build works, even though I messed it up a little explaining the assassin trinkets over the berserker ones because of the blood reaction. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'm pretty much gonna conclude it here. Any questions, you know where to get them and how to get them. So have a nice game, everybody. Enjoy.